Four-time PGA champion Tiger Woods is joining us for the 104th PGA Championship. Tiger, this is your 22nd PGA Championship. The last time you were here, you won here at Tulsa. Can you take us back to 2007 and just maybe share some of the memories you had that week?
Yeah, it was obviously a very different golf course. It was not cold that week. I remember playing behind JD the first day, which was awesome. It was, 109, I think, that first day, and I asked JD how many waters he drank out there. He says, no, I had 13 Diet Cokes. So it was a great week. A very different golf course, a lot of irons and like strange irons. Like you normally don't hit a 6-iron off a tee on a par 4, but we did that week, and they've lengthened it, they've changed it, and it'll be a good test. I'm curious to see how much firmer it gets as the week goes on, and this golf course is going to play where Kerry wants it. How's your body? How's your mind as you come to the second major of the year? Yeah, it's better than last time I played a tournament, so which is good. We've been working hard, and again, I have days when it's tough, and the days where we can push through it, but we keep working at it. Very good.
Questions, ladies and gentlemen. Mic number 2, please.
Yeah,
Tiger.
Yeah.
In the time between the PGA Championship and the Masters, were you able to sort of keep ramping up the training, or was there a post-Masters lull?
Yeah, there was a huge lull Monday. That was it. Monday, it was not fun. It hurt. A lot of ice baths and just trying to get the swelling out of there. And then we went back at it leg day on Tuesday, and we kept going from there. And said, let's go. We figured the first mountain you climbed was Everest. I mean, this is the steepest golf course you're going to play, and that was the first one you climbed. And so it's going to get flatter and better. But still, I still have tough days, and things aren't going to be as easy as people might think, but I feel like I'm doing better. I'm having more days in which are better and more positive. Able to practice a little bit longer, so I'm able to do activities and things that I was hoping to do, and I'm finally able to do them.
What did you learn about your new body and maybe its limitations during that week at Augusta?
It was hurting, but I pushed through it, and it was more mind than body. I said I've won with a broken leg before, so keep on going out there, keep pushing. I know how to play the golf course if I can just putt well. You never know. Unfortunately, Saturday I think I had like 15 3-putts, but it was one of those things that the thing that I was frustrated with is that it deteriorated as the week went on. I got more and more tired and more fatigued. I didn't have the endurance that I wanted, and now I shouldn't expect it because I didn't earn it. I didn't go out there and I haven't done the work, but we're able to put in a little bit more work, and it's only going to get better as time goes on. So as the months pass, and it's going to get better.
Mike 1.
Tiger, what do you make of Phil not being here? Defending champion, great win last year that he had, and here we all know what's gone on. He's not here. What are your thoughts?
Well, Bob, it's always disappointing when the defending champion's not here. Phil has said some things that I think a lot of us who are committed to the tour and committed to the legacy of the tour have pushed back against, and he's taken some personal time, and we all understand that, but I think that some of his views on how the tour could be run and should be run, been a lot of disagreement there, but as we all know, as a professional, we miss him being out here. He's a big draw for the game of golf. He's just taking his time, and we all wish him the best when he comes back. obviously we're going to have difference of opinions that how he sees the tour, and we'll go from there.
You surprised at all it has escalated to the point that it has, where he also missed the Masters, obviously, and we really don't know what's next.
Yeah, it has ramped up very quickly, and I think we were talking about this. If this would have happened 30 years ago, 20 years ago, it wouldn't have happened as fast. But social media has changed the landscape and how fast things can ramp up. Whether it's real news or fake news or whatever it is, opinions get out there instantly, and it can sway very quickly one way or the other. And what we're seeing right now in a society, it's very bipolar. There's really no middle ground. You stand one way or the other, and it's very polarizing. And the viewpoints that Phil has made, with the tour and what the tour has meant to all of us, has been polarizing as well.
Thank you.
Mike 4, please.
Tiger, you told me a long time ago that you didn't think golf defined who you are as a person, but I think the resilience you've shown in the last year does say a lot about you. How do you think what you've accomplished over the last year since the accident might inspire others?
Well, every day's a challenge for all of us. All of us, we all have our own challenges in our own different way, right? And you wake up to the new challenge, the new day, and you got to fight through it. And some challenges are more difficult than others. It doesn't mean that they're harder or easier than others. They're just different. Mine were different than some others. Some other people have been through much worse than I have. We have seen some pretty amazing. I have seen some pretty amazing things working with the military and what they've done and what they come back from. Guys have lost limbs and have come back and requalified for special forces, and things like that are inspiring. And yeah, I'm going to be sore. That's okay, but I can still get better.
Question on Mike 6, please.
Tiger, you're going to hit more driver here than more often than you did in 2007. There's more short grass around the greens. Do you think this is a better test than the one in 2007? Which would you prefer to play?
Now, given my body, anything like around 6,200 is great. It's just different. It's faster, it's more wide open. We saw how the seniors played it. A lot of balls were hitting and running off to the sides. That wasn't the case when we played in 07. It was catching in the rough. But I think that some of there's more, for me, I think there's more slope in some of these greens. Obviously, there's more waves in the fairways, and hitting very different clubs off the tees. But still, it's a challenge. And I've said earlier, I think Kerry's going to set it up. I think he's going to do a wonderful job setting it up. It's going to be fair. It's going to be hard. The rough is at a great length. It's interesting because you can get a ball that comes out hot, or you didn't get a ball that comes out at all. And that's the great guessing game of playing Bermuda. And then with the surrounds being cut down how they are, there's a lot more grain than we ever had to deal with. So, there are going to be different shots. I've seen guys use hybrids, I've seen guys use 3-woods, putts, wedges, 4-irons. I mean, you'll see a variety of different things. And then the forecast is going to be different every day, and there's wind supposed to be all different directions. So we're going to see different golf courses almost every day.
Mike number 5.
Tiger, you mentioned that you kind of lost endurance as the round at the Masters went on. What have you learned about your body or the recovery process since that's going to be able to help you recover better after the rounds and be able to last longer into the tournament?
Well, my team did just an amazing job just to get me to a point where I could play the Masters, and I was able to have that opportunity to play. Right after each round, it was like, get back to the house, and we have an ice bath ready for you, and off you go, get on the treatment table, and let's just keep working at it, keep things going. And it was tough. It was hard. It was hard on all of us. But I've gotten stronger since then. but still, it's still going to be sore, and walking is a challenge. I can hit golf balls, but the challenge is walking, and it's going to be that way for foreseeable future for sure.
In the back row, 14.
Yeah. Tiger, with the foundation, have you considered an event much like the one Bill Dickey used to put on? I'm sure you remember him.
Oh, yeah.
That would benefit kids all over the country and give people a chance to see exactly what the foundation is doing?
Well, see, we've gone away from golf-based events. We had fundraisers that are golf-based events, but our foundation is not based in golf. Our fundraising is based in golf, but our program is based in STEM. So we focus on STEM, getting kids into STEM programs in a variety of different STEM programs. But yes, we use golf as a fundraiser, but we're not here to produce professional golfers. We're here to give underserved kids better chances in life, and I think that's more important.
Thank you.
Mike 9, please.
Yeah. Tiger, how close are you physically now to being as good as it's going to get based on your injuries?
I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know. There's going to be limitations. I mean, there's a lot of hardware in there, and there's going to be limitations to what I'm going to be able to do. And but I'm going to get stronger. I don't know how much that is or how much range of motion I'll ever get back. But sure as a hell of a lot better than it was 12 months ago.
Mike 9 now, please.
Yeah, Tiger, you mentioned all the changes to the golf course. One, do you like those changes? And then two, your winning score here was 8 under in 07. Do you envision it being similar? All the guys have mentioned it's playing tougher then, so do you envision that score maybe being lower?
I think it all depends on where Kerry puts the pins. When I watched the seniors play, and there was a lot of balls running off the sides, a lot of chip shots. But we're getting these young kids hitting the ball high and far, and a couple of par fives are 630, and guys are knocking on there in 2. Some of the guys. Depends on the wind, obviously, but guys have a lot more power than what we did in 07. I mean, look at what we did on the range. We can't use the top end of the range anymore because guys are hitting it down on the bottom. So the game has changed a lot, and because the game has changed a lot, Gil's done a fantastic job of altering the golf course, and it has a lot more shot options. That's for sure. And we're going to be tested around the greens a lot. A lot of grain, a lot of creativity. But it still puts a premium on putting the ball in play and on the fairway and keeping the ball somehow below the holes in the right spots. As I said, there's still a lot of slope in some of these greens, a lot of pitch. But it is kind of nice to see 9 and 18 not cut at a different speed.
Question on 3.
Tiger, how confident are you that you can contend this week, and just basically, can you win this week?
I feel like I can, yeah, definitely. I just got to go out there and do it. I got to do my work, and starts on Thursday, and I'll be ready.
Question on 12.
Yeah, Tiger, you mentioned your putting at Augusta, particularly that Saturday, didn't go the way you wanted it to. Do you feel like with your physical limitations, you're able to practice enough with the putter to get that club back to a championship level?
What? No. As far as practicing a lot, no, I don't do that anymore. Bending over and hitting a bunch of putts like I used to, that doesn't happen. Not with my back the way it is, and I got to pick my spots, do my work, and get in and then get out. I can do different sessions. I have a great complex in the backyard, but I can do like different times throughout the day and do like a 20-minute segment here, a 20-minute segment there, another 20 segment later on in the evening. I can break it up and do it that way instead of putting for 2-3 hours in a row like I used to. I just have to do it differently.
8.
Tiger, you said to Bob about the disagreement with a lot of what Phil had said. From your point of view, how does he resolve that disagreement, or does he have to resolve that disagreement? What do you think?
I don't know if he has to resolve it or not. He has his opinion on where he sees the game of golf going. I have my viewpoint on how I see the game of golf, and I've supported the tour, and my foundation has run events on the tour for a number of years, and I just think that what Jack and Arnold have done and starting the tour and breaking away from the PGA of America and creating our tour, what, in 68 or 69, somewhere in there. I just think that there's a legacy to that. I've been playing out here for a number of years, for over a couple of decades, and I think there's a legacy to it. And I still think that what the tour has so much to offer, so much opportunity. Yes, it is. I understand different viewpoints, but I believe in legacies. I believe in major championships. I believe in big events, comparisons to historical figures of the past. And it's, there's plenty of money out here. The tour is growing. But it's just like any other sport. It's like tennis. You got to go out there and earn it. You got to go out there and play for it. We have the opportunity to go ahead and do it. It's just not guaranteed up front.
Over here on 9, please. 9.
Sorry, Tiger, with your event, you have rights fees that you pay to the tour in some form or another. Do you think Phil, because he hadn't done events before some of these matches and whatnot, do you think he just didn't understand the rights fees and how they work?
I can't speak for him not knowing and understanding that. I'm sure he probably does have an understanding of that because he was the host of the the old Bob Hope. So since he was the host of the event, I'm sure he probably understands it. And plus he hosts the event up there in Napa Valley. So he understands that. And there is a rights fee to having events and understanding it. And we negotiate with the tour, and whether it's one-off day events like we have with matches under the lights like I used to do back in the old days, or it's regular tour events. Each term is different, and obviously there's rights fees that have to be paid, and we understand that. And obviously we go in there as events and try and negotiate that down as low as possible, and try and make as much money as we can for the local events.
Mike, 1, please.
And the fees go back to the tour players, correct?
Correct.
That's where they go.
Correct.
1.
Tiger,
Oh.
from the outside, it didn't appear, especially based on what was known about your injuries, that the Masters was possible, and maybe not even this tournament several months ago. When did you make the determination or set the goal to come back? And at what point did you think, wow, there's a realistic chance I can do it?
Well, when I went up and did the scouting trip with JT, Rob, and Charlie, and was able to play, we played all 18, then went over and played the par 3 course. And yeah, I did it, but man, it hurt for a couple days. But I was able to do it. Maybe I could work my way into it somehow, and just kept pushing and kept hoping that I could somehow figure out a way. I have to endure some uncomfortableness, but it was even that week as I played practice rounds, I was still trying to figure out, can I do this over over 72 holes? And I was able to do it. Unfortunately, I just didn't have the endurance or the stamina, and I wish I would have putted better so I could give myself a chance. But I just think that I've put in a lot of hard work with my team, and I believe in them and what they have been able to get me to do. I just have to go out there and I obviously do it and hit the golf shots. Now, I've had to alter my golf swing a little bit here and there, and practice sessions and work on things, and I've had to do a lot of it shadow swinging in front of mirrors because I'm just not able to handle impact. But I've gotten better and stronger since then, and we'll continue to improve.
Mike, 2.
Tiger, I have 2 unrelated questions. One kind of playing off of Bob for a sec here about, obviously when we've spoken to you over the years, it's always about the result and winning and whatnot. But when you step back and look at getting through 72 holes at Augusta, how much of an accomplishment, and did you feel some accomplishment out of that when you got home, even though the result wasn't what you wanted?
Yeah, I hear you. I was, everyone around me was very happy and ecstatic that I got around all 72 holes. I did not see it that way on Monday. I was a little ticked that I didn't putt well, and felt like I was hitting it good enough, and I wish I had the stamina. It's a normal, typical golfer. What ifs? If I would have done this, I would have done that. I would have done this. But taking a step back and look at the overall big picture of it, it was an accomplishment. But there's that other side of me that says that if I would have done things differently, I could have challenged for that thing. And I know that golf course, and maybe next year will be different.
And just one follow on Phil. Sometimes you've endured some difficult times over the years. Phil has publicly and privately reached out to you. I'm curious if you have tried to reach out to him, spoken to him, and if you felt compelled to reach out to him at all.
I have not reached out to him. I've not spoken to him. A lot of it has not to do with, I think, personal issues. It was our viewpoints of how the tour should be run and could be run, and what players are playing for and how we're playing for it. I have a completely different stance on that, and so no, I have not.
More personally, just obviously it's obviously not going through a very good time.
I don't know what he's going through, but I know the comments he made about the tour and the way that it should be run, it could be run differently, and then all the different financials that could have happened. I just have a very different opinion on that, and so no, I have not reached out to him.
3 more questions, ladies and gentlemen, on mic 8.
I wanted to follow. I had something else. I wanted to just follow up on that. What do you think the tour needs to be doing better?
Well, they're trying to obviously give what the top players have. Obviously the top players have carried the tour for a number of years, whether it's back in Jack Arnold and Gary, or other eras. The top players have carried the tours, and it's the PIP program, or however we're going to ever do something like that going forward, what the incentives are, is trying to take care of the players that have obviously done a lot, for the tour. I think that programs like that will probably be altered a bit, going forward, and how we are able to promote the tour. I mean, the top players are used. I mean, that's one of the things that we have got into arguments that I have with Jay or Tim over the years is how we're marketed and used in events that we're not even playing in. So that in itself is an issue right there, and that stems from conversations I've had privately with those guys, and shared my viewpoint, and how the top players are rewarded for what they do, not just on a golf course, but how they are able to bring so much attention, awareness to our sport, and whether it's through all the different streaming or TV or the different ways you can view golf. We have our now feature groups, which we've never had before. There's a reason why they're featured groups. So I think those guys should get rewarded somehow.
And secondly, we have a club pro in the field this week, Wyatt Worthington, who's only the second black club pro to play in the PGA. You actually gave him a private lesson at a first tee 20 years ago. Wouldn't expect you to remember that.
I don't remember it, but I've heard the story. Yes.
I'm just curious, what is the progress that's being made at a very slow rate? What is keeping it so slow? This is not a new story, but is it access? Is it funding? What do you see is keeping golf back from getting more opportunities like Wyatt has this week?
Well, if you look at, if you want to go the club pro route, that's one story. If you want to go minority access or not access, introduction to the game of golf, I think that has changed quite a bit. And the reason why I've said this my entire career is that it's the advent of the golf cart. The summers and used to be the caddies were predominantly non-white, and they were introduced to the game through caddy programs around the country, and that doesn't happen anymore. There are clubs that have caddies, but there aren't as many anymore with the advent of the golf cart. So other sports are now starting to get these athletes, and the introduction to golf is not happening at a youthful age, and the costs of just not just the introduction, but just the maintenance and trying to participate in the game of golf. Like I said this at the Hall of Fame, is that, you know, my parents had to take out a second mortgage, you know, for me just to be able to compete at a junior golf level. And so that it's tough. It's tough on families that don't have the funds to do it. But yes, access is a tough thing, and the USGA has done an amazing job. The Tour's trying to do a great job, and there are other organizations that are trying to do amazing stuff to try and get more minority youth involved in the game and introduced. But how do you sustain that? That's the hard part, is how do you keep them in there for years at a time? And then you look at the pyramid effect. So as the more you go up, the harder the competition and the more kids are going to be dropped.
Thank you.
Good luck this week, Tiger. Tiger is playing with Rory McIlroy and Jordan Spieth at 11 a.m. on Thursday. Thanks.